What's up, online? Earlier this year, Hasbro announced that they're starting to get into the board game subscription box thing, and that was announced on Board Game Geek, and everyone pretty much thought it was a joke, right? I assumed there'd be like some Monopoly variants in there, so maybe some limited edition Risk pieces, or some new versions of that game where you put a plastic in your mouth and get your spit all over it and spit everywhere. Was pretty much the idea of what kind of things were going to be in there. So it turns out that was a little bit unfair. Hasbro actually released two different versions of their game box. The first one was their sort of party game box, which it didn't have the spit mouth game. It had a game called Speak Out, which is it did have the spit mouth game. That is the spit mouth game. It also had some really interesting stuff in it, like Box of Rocks, which is a trivia game where all of the answers are something to be determined 0, 1, or 2 by a box of rocks that you literally shake and try to figure out if you're smarter than the random chance there. And the questions in that are all pretty interesting and neat. It also had a game called Judgmental, which looks like something I don't really want to put up with. Features edgy NSFW content. But regardless, the games in there were different from what you would expect. You would expect to have 3 variants on a game that's already been published, themed around a minor YouTube celebrity with some sort of vaguely disgusting plastic prop associated with them, and instead you only got 1 of those. But in addition to the party game box, which, despite being better than expected, is still pretty close to what we expected, Hasbro also released a family game box, and that's where things get a little bit interesting. So, today, we're opening boxes. Alright, so here we have the Hasbro Gaming Crate, which, look on the side there, hashtag Hasbro Gaming Crate. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open, shall we? With my trusty keys. Now go play. Well, we're not going to do that just yet, although it is game night tonight, so I might bring a couple of these. So, let's see what we got. The, oh wow, the Staycation Challenge pad that they've included here. A little boggle puzzle and a little cranium puzzle and a special reward to redeem to get out of doing a chore. I'm going to take this. First thing we've got, Leo Goes to the Barber. This game was actually nominated for the Kinderspiel, though I don't think it won. It's sort of a cooperative memory game. You're trying to get your lion Leo all the way down this path of tiles, all the way up to the barber, by playing cards out of your hand. Everyone's cooperating to do this, because every time that you flip over one of the tiles, if you played a card that's the wrong card, you're going to have to take some time off, and if you waste too much time, you don't get to the barber, and they close, I guess. And that's no good. Also, art is just super, super cute. So, good stuff there. Mask of the Pharaoh. Now this is the reason I backed the box to begin with. One player wears the Mask of the Pharaoh, actually this cardboard Anubis mask that's in here, this guy up here. They're going to be seeing a 3D representation of a level, and everyone else is going to have to build what's described to them out of these tiles, so that you can complete a path for your little pug dog, doofy looking dog on here, see? And the third game in here is Tricky Wishes. Here's something I never, I guess, expected to see, the Passport Gaming Studio logo alongside the Hasbro logo. So in this game, you're going to be taking superpowers, gifts, and what are called world harmonies. You're going to be swapping cards with other players, trying to assemble a set of 1 of each, and say, I wish, when you think you have the best set. So it's a pretty straightforward little game, definitely fits in this line, and it's got really, really good art on it as well. Okay, so I've had the chance to play all the games that came in the box now, and this is pretty awesome. If you'd have told me earlier this year. Actually, you know, you did tell me earlier this year that Hasbro was coming out with a sort of experimental game box. I would have expected bad stuff. And they've come up with 3 really interesting experiences and 3 things that either aren't widely available, although 3 Wishes is definitely available in the United States, or haven't been released here previously at all, with Mask of the Pharaoh and Leo Goes to the Barber. And what's more, they're really different types of game experiences. 2 of the games in here are co-ops, which most of Hasbro's products are, you know, typically competitive family board games. And one of the games is a VR game, which is a way more thoughtful variant of the toy game, the game that has some sort of neat component or apparatus to mess with. And just the mouth thing, the toilet and the pie and those things. And if they're able to maintain sort of the level of quality that they have with this one, I think I'll stay subscribed to it. So that's the Hasbro Gaming Crate from Hasbro. Check it out.